interesting development in Imo State, because the government of Imo State has come out to ban graduation ceremonies in certain categories, and many parents have been reacting to this. In fact, many parents are happy with this development, and some parents are not so happy with the development. Some school owners are also frowning at it, and that is all we'll be looking at in this very video. The government of Imo State has placed a ban on graduation ceremonies. They also did place a ban on annual textbook renewal and all the rest. So let us look at this matter, because it's a matter that affects many parents, many pupils, many students, and we'll be looking at it very well in this very video. Just if you have not subscribed, click on subscribe, because here in Noble Media we try to give you the news as it is dropping. This is the news that we just got. Imo State Government bans nursery graduation, JSS3 graduation ceremonies, stops yearly change of textbooks. You know, every year in first term there's always a textbook, a new textbook package, and Imo State Government has banned it. Let us look at it, then we want you to also tell us what you think about it here in Noble Media. The Imo State Government has announced sweeping reforms in the state's education sector, abolishing graduation ceremonies for kindergarten, nursery, and junior secondary school JSS3 students. Do you think this is what the government should be doing at this very moment? Let's take it again. The Imo State Government has announced sweeping reforms in the state's education sector, abolishing graduation ceremonies for kindergarten, nursery, and junior secondary school JSS3 students, while also directing schools to stop the yearly change of textbooks. So if these things are stopped, what will now happen in schools? This was contained in a memo dated August 15, 2025, and signed by the Commissioner of Education, Professor Bernard Ikegwoha, with reference number. You can see the reference number MOEPS COMMR2 of 2025, volume 1/155. Let us continue with this news. It seems to be a very interesting one, and most parents, most students, most guardians, most people who are interested in this kind of news. The document titled Policy on Education for Public and Private Primary and Secondary Schools in Imo State was addressed to parents, guardians, and stakeholders. Right? This one is not just for the public schools, government schools. It is also for both the private schools, as far as you are running a nursery, primary, and secondary school inside Imo State. According to the new policy, graduation ceremonies and parties are henceforth only permitted for pupils completing primary 6 and students completing senior secondary school 3, that's SS3, in line with Nigerian 6334 education system. Can you imagine? What do you think about this? Is this something we should applaud? Because many people are applauding this, many people are happy with this. Or is this something that is not necessary? Some people will say this is not our problem. This is not the problem in the education sector. We need to pay teachers. We need to build more schools. Do you think this is something that should be applauded? Okay, we must now move on. This policy aims to ensure that students, parents, guardians, and stakeholders and schools focus on academic achievement of students at the end of their primary and secondary education cycles, the commissioner stated. Let's look at it again. He said, the document titled Policy on Education for Public and Private Primary and Secondary School in Imo State was addressed to parents. According to the new policy, graduation ceremonies and parties are henceforth only permitted for pupils completing primary 6 and students completing senior, that is SS3, in line with Nigerian 6334 education system. You know, in Nigeria currently we have 6 years for primary school, 3 years for junior secondary school, 3 years for senior secondary school, and 4 years in the university. normally, right? Despite despite the strike actions, the problem in the education sector, this is the former system. This policy aims to ensure that students, parents, guardians, and stakeholders and schools focus on the academic achievements of students at the end of their primary and secondary education cycles, the commissioner stated. The memo also addressed what is described as the exploitative practice. This one is very, very crucial. The memo also addressed what it described as the exploitative practice of schools introducing new textbooks every year. Schools introducing fresh new textbooks every first term. Professor Ike Gwoha directed that textbooks should henceforth have a 4-year lifespan to allow siblings to reuse them, thereby reducing the financial burden on parents. You know, what they do is some schools bring this textbook and bring a different set, meaning that if a parent has a child in, say, JS1 and another one in JS2, by the time the child in JS2 is entering JS3, the person should be able to use the textbooks of the brother or sister that completed JS2. But some schools will bring an entirely new textbook with a different author, with a different, meaning that those children will have to buy it afresh. They cannot use the ones used by their siblings because those one has been phased out. The professor directed that textbooks should henceforth have a 4-year lifespan to allow siblings to reuse them, thereby reducing financial burden on parents. We must now continue. He warned, that is the Professor Ike Gwoha, he warned proprietors of faith-based and private schools. That is, faith-based are those who are owned by mostly churches like Anglican, Catholic, Deeper Life. You know, those churches always have a group of schools spanning several states. He warned proprietors of faith-based and private schools against deviating from the approved list of textbooks, strengthening that stability and consistency in curriculum material should enhance learning outcomes. Proprietors, look at what he said in his own words. Proprietors are warned to desist from frequent change of textbooks every academic year, as this practice can be financially burdening for parents and undermine the quality of education, the memo read. Proprietors are warned to desist from frequent change of textbooks. This practice can be financially burdening for parents and undermine quality of education. We must continue. The commissioner noted that adopting approved textbook for the stipulated period would not only promote cost effectiveness for families, but also ensure uniformity in teaching and learning in schools in the state. Right? Uniformity. Okay. By adopting the approved textbooks and allowing them to be used for the specific period, schools can promote a more efficient and effective learning environment, the memo said. The new education policy takes effect immediately. This is currently going on in Imo State. Do you think the government will follow this up? Do you think it is a step in the right direction? Or do you think the aspect of this law that you do not agree with? Some people may agree with the banning of the graduation ceremonies and approve and fall in love with this whole textbook issue. Tell us what you think in the comment section. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to support our channel. Click on join, like this video, share this video, and most importantly, there is an important video on the screen. Click on it and watch now.